So I am 49 years old and I just got laid off yesterday and I'm starting over again. And I was a proofreader for a kind of a decent sized company, and it's been a pretty rough 48 hours or a little more. So on Thursday, I was told that my manager had scheduled a meeting for me for the next day, and could I make it? And she included some friendly emojis, praying hands and flowers. And right away I got nervous, of course, naturally, particularly when I figured out that it was also with the HR partner. So my mind was racing a little bit, and I said, of course, but then I asked my team lead. It was just a small team of us, myself and another girl, and then our team lead. I asked her if I should be concerned, and she said that she was also concerned because she also had one scheduled. And she assumed that we were going to be laid off. So I thought, hopefully not. And I had some hope, but my mind definitely went to all different places from that time until the next morning. And my heart was racing when I went into that meeting at 8 o'clock in the morning the following day. And it was a remote meeting. It was very awkward to be put on the spot. And as soon as my manager came in to the room, it was clear from her facial expression that it was not good news. And she pretty quickly told me that I was being laid off, and that it was actually my entire team. So they have laid off my entire team of proofreaders, just the three of us. And they said it was because of restructuring, but they also said it was because of AI. So I know I'm not alone. I know many of us are being laid off because of AI. So I want to rewind a little bit and go back to late last year when they hired a new operating manager, and that person came in and immediately, believe it was early this year, immediately started nitpicking everything that we were doing in the proofreading team and asking us a lot of questions, actually asking our team lead many questions about what we were doing and our process and how long it was taking us to edit and proofread tasks. And over that period of time, we were asked to give the writers very specific feedback. And it was taking us a lot of time to do that during the day, because we were asked to fill out forms for each writer. And they appreciated it, but they were also confused about what to do in that situation. So we were helping them improve. And my team lead actually already had a feeling that we were effectively limiting ourselves by doing that, making them better writers, helping them to do that. So instead of training AI, we were training the writers. And that died down, and eventually we went back to the old way of doing things, which, we had a nice flow going. We were doing things quickly, but we all agreed during that time that AI was okay, it was helpful, but it was not doing the job completely because there were still many errors that it wasn't catching. And we told our team lead that, and she, felt the strongest about that and relayed that to the OM. But anyway, fast forward to, we feel comfortable, our jobs are fine, secure. He said that they prided themselves on the human element and aspect of the company, and that we didn't have to worry, because she asked if we should be worried about our jobs and if AI was going to take them, and he said no. So, but I think he was a little vague in how he said it, that they valued the human aspect. So fast forward to just the end of the week here. I was there for almost 2 years, and they basically blindsided us, so here I am. and I have to start over again, and I don't know how I'm going to do that. I'm not sure what to do. I have some things I've been doing on the side just because the job wasn't enough, unfortunately. So I have been doing some other things on the side. But let me go back a little bit further to, I think it was 2021, when, I was lost a little bit and struggling because of the pandemic, and I had gotten pretty sick, and I didn't know how to get through that time. I won't go into detail of how I was feeling or why, what was happening to me, but my husband suggested that I go back to school to do something I loved, which was writing. I hadn't revisited that in a long time. So I agreed that that would be fun to do, and that would be a good thing to get my mind off of what was going on at the time. So I did that, and I got accepted to a program for creative writing, and I was so excited to get started. And I really soaked in everything in that program. And I wanted to, take full advantage of it. And it did distract me from the difficult parts of the pandemic, got me through that. And it gave me a new hope and a new perspective, and I felt like I redeemed myself because I had gone to college when I was in my late teens into my 20s, and I didn't get the grades that I hoped or that I should have because I was very distracted. So in this case, I graduated in 2024 as valedictorian with an online program, and that felt really good. Felt great at my age to do that, redeem myself from the old college experience that I, in my opinion, failed at, and I was pretty proud of that, and I had a blast doing it. And the irony is that at the end of that program, I actually started to use AI tools to edit some of my video work that I had to turn in at the end. Like my final project, I used AI, and my husband did some illustration for me, and I used AI to make the voiceovers for a small video that I made. That was my choice to do this project for one of the stories I wrote. It was like an extra credit. And I wanted to see if I could do that. And it was so fun, and it came out great, in my opinion. And that's the irony, because here I am, and now, just, less than 2 years later, my job has been taken by AI. And I want to mention that when I got accepted to this job, it was only a few months after I graduated, so I was so happy that I got accepted to this job, and it felt like surreal that I was in a field of proofreading that was adjacent, at least, to writing, and it was something where they told me that I could eventually become a writer there. So that was what I planned to do at some point once I got comfortable enough. But I got a little complacent, I guess, and like I said, I was doing other things at the same time. I did treat the job with respect and gave it my all, I feel. When you get to my age, you realize that you really have to, kind of respect where you are. Whereas when you're younger, you may not respect your job as much. You may think it's just, a throwaway or something. So, here we are. And I don't know where this path leads, but I know that when I was a teenager, young teen, there was a company called LucasArts, and they now do mainly Star Wars games. But at the time, they started with these very pixelated adventure games, and we had to use our imagination. And there were these time puzzles, and there was one particular puzzle that I refer back to many, many times over my life when I go through things like this. And there was a key in a chandelier in the ceiling, and as the character, which you picked from a few different characters, as that character, you had to get that key out of the chandelier because you had to unlock a dungeon to get your buddy released from the dungeon in the basement, because he was captured for doing something that the occupants of the mansion didn't like. So you had to go upstairs to the second floor in this creepy mansion, and you had to record a sound that was like a very high-pitched sound, I believe. And you had to do that in order to get the chandelier to break so that the key would fall and you would be able to unlock that dungeon door. And so every time I go through something like this, I say I have to get that key out of the chandelier. So here we are, and that key is back in the chandelier. And how the hell am I going to get that key out? That's what I have to figure out. Because I've done this many times, and this feels a little different because AI is now like the final boss. And I'm now 49 going on 50, and it's a little different this time, so I don't know what I'm going to do. But here we are. So what are you guys doing? What have you been through in this strange time that we live right now? To be a strange time to be alive. What are you guys doing to get through it? What have you been through? What have you faced? What are the challenges you've had? And what are you doing? What little things are you doing? What side quests are you doing to make this work? What XP have you gained? I'll talk more about that in other videos, but good luck to all of you. I hope we all make it through this in one piece and with our sanity. Until then.